are live.
It is showtime. Welcome everybody to our Incubator weekly show today. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter show today. I actually do think that that's going to be true because we don't have much to cover today. I do want to talk about our proposal updates. And first I wanted to start out by, just saying hello, Anthony. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing good.
Good.
How was your Mother's Day?
Yeah, it was good. I was just, we spent the day mostly with my in-laws. But my mom has 9 children, so I try not to. I called her and I left a message because she didn't answer because probably was talking with somebody else. Anyway, moving right along to, let's see. I got to add this to the stage. Moving right along to the topic of today. Anthony, can you give me a yes or no? Can you see my screen? Are we good? Are we good there?
You're good, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So if anybody's not familiar with this notation, quality and quantity is the topic, but these little notations, it's a little bit of a music trivia. So if we have any music fans in the group watching the show here, you'll probably know what this is. But these are signs for repeats. So in music notation, you have notes and measures, and if you have these two little dots, what I mean by this is last week, so it's a bit of a follow-on from our last week's discussion. And that topic was developers. So a little bit of a history of how the incubator has gone so far. In the beginning, we focused a lot on the quantity of developers. So we have a big Trello board, and we were trying to get a lot of developers doing a lot of different things, and that was good. We got hundreds, I would say, of developers looking at Dash and trying it out over the course of the years. And it was a little bit overwhelming for me at a certain point to where I shifted from quantity to focusing more on quality and shrinking the quantity down to a few developers that I knew were good, knew had high quality potential. And I focused on a few projects that I thought were very important to get some quality products done specifically in the JavaScript ecosystem. And I think that we're at the point now where I want to shift my strategic focus back to quantity. There are several reasons for this, but one of those reasons is simply that we can build the highest quality product that we want, but if nobody's using it, what good is it? And I do think that we have a very high quality product in Dash, both in general, our payments technology, our payments product, which is the main focus of Dash, is peer-to-peer payments. And I think that we do that well. I think that we do that better than any crypto project out there, including the integrations that we have, thanks to different organizations within Dash. We've got just a lot of integrations coupled with the fact that we've been doing this for over a decade, I think now. It's close, over a decade now in Dash. But we do need to do better with the quantity of both developers and users. There are just not enough people that are trying these products, seeing what it has to offer. And I think we need to fix that. So both
comment here is saying
Go
saying
ahead.
so many high quality. This comment here is saying so many high quality products have no users.
So many of them. Yeah, I got to shift back. I'm going to shift back over to our StreamYard so I can see. Yeah, let's shift this as well. Yeah, so I agree with that. Do you have any examples? There are a lot of examples in the past. I think people kind of know about this, but do you have any examples of two competing products, Anthony, that were, one was higher quality clearly, but just didn't have the users?
Well, for something that I would think of, I wouldn't say necessarily one is obviously higher quality than the other, but I feel like, for me, Redwood.js as like an open source project, I felt like always had very high quality with very low quality kind of like, notoriety and usage in terms of the open source world, compared to things like Next or Remix. And I felt that it was certainly as good. And in my opinion, there are things that made it better, but it never really was able to quite get the same sort of attention that those other ones got. So, this definitely happens in open source. And I'm trying to think in terms of like other
Anyway, I don't want to put you on the spot there, but if you come up with any, just feel free. But I think
Edgio.
Say again.
Edgio, the company I worked at, Edgio, that's a deployment platform, kind of had a similar problem.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's something also to be said for, if your product doesn't really have users, was it really high quality in the first place? So I don't know. It is definitely a question of strategy and how much you focus on building great things and how much you focus on marketing. So there's something to be said there. I'm personally not a big marketing guy, but I recognize the importance of that. But anyway, I do want to shift now to just jumping into the proposals that Incubator has up, and there's been some changes. So I wanted to make sure that everybody understood, everybody understands the changes and why we're doing that. And by we, I mostly mean me and the few developers that I was focusing on with AJ and Jojobyte and you, Anthony. That's kind of like my solid base team right now. And we've split what used to be one proposal under my name into now two proposals. And I want to go through why we've done that. So I'm going to just quickly pan through the text of the proposal so that anybody watching can read that and see what our proposal. This is the body of our proposal, what it used to be. I didn't change the body of the proposal at all. I figured it would just be easier and more transparent to keep the proposal as it was, but then make an update in the comments. And I'll let people read this on their own time. I won't read it word for word, but I'll just talk about these three main, actually probably just the two main topics here: the split proposals and the priority updates. The context, you can read that if you want as well. I think it's important context. Basically, the main thing with that context is that I feel like there are still the vast majority of the Dash community supports what we're doing, but our proposal was very close to passing last month, but it didn't. And I'm hoping that this proposal passes this month. And I'll go ahead and read this. So step in the right direction is providing more granular proposals. So this will help align priorities between contributors and voters by giving voters more visibility into what contributors are working on and hopefully giving contributors more targeted feedback from voters. Accordingly, Jojobyte has submitted a separate proposal that will primarily cover his and Cool Age 86's work. And then we'll go through that proposal briefly after we do this one. But in Dash, what I've noticed is the best way to get real feedback is to just put things up for the vote and see where the votes go. It's a bit like the entrepreneurial process where it's not so much about going out and asking, doing customer surveys about what they want. like the old adage goes, they'll tell you they want faster horses kind of thing. But you have to just put products out into the market and see if they pass. And that's what they pass the market test. And that's kind of what we're doing here is we're just saying, okay, we're going to split these proposals up so that I can see, are people happy with or unhappy with what I personally am doing and the direction that I want to go with you, Anthony, or are people more, do they want to continue funding cool AJ86s and Jojobyte's work? Where's the value? What's the priority here? If not both, and I hope both, because that's what I'm going to talk about. I think that we both kind of need each other in terms of how this fits together for the good of Dash itself. Any questions so far or comments, Anthony?
Can we look at Jojo's?
What's that?
Can we look at Jojo's proposal?
Yes. Okay, so he's requesting 400 Dash for 2 months. And I mentioned in my text that would basically make up for the 800 Dash that was not funded last quarter. And I know that I don't say that in the sense that like, oh, we really need that back. I'm just saying that in the sense that I basically requested what I thought was the minimum to keep these high quality developers funded, as well as my own efforts and yours, and reaching out to other people. And if people want that, then the proposal was so close to passing that I kind of wonder if it was just a matter of timing or whatnot. And I want to give MNOs the opportunity to fund that if they value those efforts. So here's the body of the proposal. The main focus for these two is finishing the dashjoin.js library and starting a new library called proposal.js. And I'll talk a little bit about that as well. Might as well do that now. The dash join stuff, this is, I think, important work. I would guess that most people would think this would be important as well. CoinJoin is one of our most important features, providing privacy for normal users to have normal private cash-like transactions, just like we've always had for the past 100, 200, whatever years that we've been using cash. So preserving that in the digital age is extremely important. Another thing that you have noticed, Anthony, and everybody I'm sure has noticed, is that I focus on the JavaScript ecosystem. And the reason for that is that most applications are built with JavaScript. And for better or for worse, I think there was a comment, I do read every comment that comes through, and I appreciate every comment that comes through. And one of the comments that I saw, actually, I guess it was it in this proposal? Must have been in this proposal. So I'll continue going through here. JavaScript is not a safe language. You better give up. So
that's hilarious.
A lot to say about this, but I mean, you cannot deny the fact that JavaScript has been the most influential and important programming paradigm in the past 2 decades. There are more JavaScript developers and more applications built in JavaScript than any other language, probably all other languages combined, I would guess. So not going to debate that.
It's very hard to avoid, yeah.
Yeah. So whether it's safe or not, it's effective. I don't mean to sound like a vaccination commercial, but if it's not safe, it's definitely effective because it's everywhere. JavaScript is literally in pretty much every environment.
Yeah, you can also argue, even if it's not safe or effective, it's just what you have to use. Like, unless you want to do the whole WebAssembly thing.
Yeah, and the people have been saying that for a decade also, is that WebAssembly is going to come and eat everybody's lunch, and we won't be using JavaScript anymore. It's just not happening, and it won't be happening anytime soon. So focusing on the JavaScript ecosystem is paramount to success, making great tools in this ecosystem. So that's why we want to bring our features to JavaScript, including CoinJoin. This next one is very important for my strategy going forward, which I haven't really discussed, but I'll go back to that in a minute. Actually, I'll go back to that right now. Back in this comment. So priority updates. Jojobyte's proposal is 400 Dash per month for 2 months. I covered this a little bit. I'll skip ahead to, Anthony and I would focus on recruiting additional Web 2 and Web 3 developers to explore Dash platform and Dash in general. By the end of the quarter, we'll invite 10 to 20 devs to experiment with Dash's offerings, platform, wallets, partner integrations, including like Spritz, things like that. We'd like to do this both on the Incubator channels as well as other channels for increased visibility. So this is the idea is, I think that we need to shift into more of a quantitative approach. And through that quantitative approach, I mean, that's kind of how you find the quality as well. So it's not like degrading quality in favor of quantity. It's a repeat process, right? That's the whole idea with that title, is that sometimes you focus on a small team that builds a quality product, and then you bring it out and you have other people test that product and see what they can do to improve it. You expand the scope and quantity, so that then later you can find, we discovered these 2 developers they didn't know about Dash, and the fact that we gave them an opportunity to try it out, even paid them to compensate for their time to try it out. And now they just love it and can't get enough of it. And now they're contributing in a way that they would have never contributed before had we not broadened our scope, widened our nets, and tried to bring in more people, more developers, more users. So this is the season for that, I think.
There's a comment here. I can just read it to you. Mass adoption is the thing now, especially with rising world population. If you just focused on quality, it might never happen.
Yeah. Yep. Good comment.
Rising world population for now.
Also, it's not only about rising world population. I don't exactly know where that fits in, because I feel like the population's always been increasing. But right now we're in an economic time where there are a lot of people out of work. There are going to be even more people out of work. I see the writing on the wall. Unemployment figures, they're by all official metrics, are still very low right now. But I think those numbers are fake. And the unemployment, especially in software right now, is significantly worse than the official numbers say. And I think it's going to get worse. So one thing that we can do is we can capitalize on that opportunity by saying, hey, you might not have a job right now, but we can throw you 10, 20, 50 Dash, try out this product, see if you can do something with it, see if you can provide value back to this economy, and put in your own proposal to get more funding if you'd like. So offering jobs is the best way to gain users, I think, because not only do you gain a user, which in and of itself is something that companies pay a lot of money for, to acquire users. And there's different metrics about how much money a company can and should spend to acquire a new user. But it's, it can be hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, depending on the industry, that you want to spend to acquire a user. But the benefit to the proposal process and giving somebody the opportunity to propose a quality product is that you don't only get a user out of that, you also get a contributor out of that, a worker, somebody that brings value to the ecosystem. And then that filters down, and everybody that receives Dash from the what I call the primary market, the treasury, the super block system, they're going to want to spend that Dash. And where are they going to spend that? Through our partners. So all the that's what I do. So pretty much all the money that I earn is going through one or more of our partners and sustaining them as well. So I think that's an important part as well. And we need to expand that so that our partners continue to get funding. Anything to say about that before I continue on, Anthony? Free to just jump in because I'm in monologue mode right now.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, I think it makes a lot of sense. You want to, as you get more people involved, you get the flywheel, and the more, funds are given to people that they can spend, just like, get the quote unquote dash economy moving.
Yeah, money talks, right? I mean, that's the old phrase. That's what people want. They want to earn money, and if they can provide value, then that's a win-win, right, for everybody. So 10 to 20 devs. That's my target. I'm confident in this number. Anthony, do you think that we can present this to 10 to 20 new developers? So that my theory behind that is, just even we could do five a week, and it would only take 2 to 4 weeks to do that once every weekday. So I think this is a pretty easy target. We know a lot of developers between the two of us. So
yeah, I think the interesting thing for me, like I've been reaching out to some people already, and I think I need to hone the kind of pitch I'm giving them, because usually the first response I've been getting back is like, oh, well, I don't know anything about crypto, so I don't know if I'm right for this. But I'm like, well, that's the point, though. It's like we're looking for people who may not necessarily be in the crypto world to try and get their feedback to see if we can get you into this world.
Yep, exactly. So I'm going to jump back over to Jojobyte's proposal. That's the reason that this that's one of the reasons why this dash proposal.js library is important, in my opinion. Right now, and I'm still planning on doing this proposal thing where I create a proposal and show the process. But the bottom line with that is that I think that the process is too difficult right now. It's not too difficult to figure out. Obviously, you can figure it out. I figured it out, and many other people have figured it out, and you can do that. But why limit ourselves when we have all the tools now, which we've built? We've built a bunch of JavaScript libraries to make this fairly easy, and AJ in particular could probably make this library rather quickly. By the end of the quarter, I'm guessing would be very easily doable. And the idea is that every one of the, and I'll just actually bring some of these up on the fly here. Let's see, proposal.dash.org is the place to go for submitting a proposal, creating and submitting a proposal. And there's another one that I want to highlight as well. MNOWatch.org / I'm going to, let's see. Some lagging going on here. I'll let that catch up in a minute. Okay. Let's see. Proposal generator. There we go. So these are two fairly simple ways to start a proposal, but it's only simple if you have some context about how to do this in the first place. So they're simple for somebody who already knows the process, is what I'm saying. Because what you do here is you give some proposal, like my proposal, my prop, and then you put in some information here. This is probably going to have some kind of validation, so I'm going to bring up an Insight Explorer to get a valid dash address as well. Let's see. Let's just check one of these blocks here. Oh, look at that. A coin join transaction.
Nice.
Random. And payment amount, say $1, and create proposal. So what this does is it gives you a command string, and you you're supposed to then copy this and paste it into the desktop wallet. Now, the desktop wallet requires whatever it is, 40 gigabytes of data and several hours of downloading. And now you've lost some people. And arguably, you haven't lost the people that you're aiming for, but let's just make this easier. So we could have this whole process within the browser so that you don't have to go over and download the full desktop wallet. You could just create it right from the browser through the wallet that we've built, or even without the wallet by presenting a QR code and saying, pay the $1, and then we could even take it further and say that that you can compose your proposal right within the browser and store that proposal data on Dash platform, for example. And so a lot to do there. And I think that would be the reason that I want to target this, is because not only do I want to find developers, but I want to find developers who are entrepreneurs, and I want more proposals hitting the network, creating competition within our ecosystem. That helps sharpen my own saw. Like that helps me stay competitive, and it would also increase competition for all of the different funded organizations as well. So I think this is a win-win-win. But we do need at least one person, if not two, you and I, Anthony, is what we're targeting, to go out there and do that searching for people, do that recruiting, welcome them into the community, show them the ropes, that kind of thing. I don't think that they're just going to come. I mean, we've been doing this we've had this proposal system for 7-8 years maybe, and just nobody really knows about it as far as I can tell. And the people that do know about it, they either think that the process is too hard, or I don't know, but I want to make it easier for people.
Has Dash ever considered bounties instead of proposals, like specific do this for this amount kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. I mean, you can make your proposal to be a bounty. Like you can say, I want to do this clearly scoped piece of work, and I want 40 Dash for it.
Right, but I think one of the benefits to a bounty is that it's just a list of things that are already there that someone could look at, like, oh, I could build that, versus like, you need to come to us with an idea.
Right. So, and this is actually, yeah, I've been thinking about this like an RFQ process, for example, where the MNOs can send out requests for proposals. That's basically what you're saying. Bounty is another term for it, but somebody has to make those bounties, right? Somebody has to, in the end, somebody has to either submit a proposal to the network or to the incubator. And that's like, we've tried to serve that function, but again, quality, quantity kind of thing. It's a little bit difficult to manage and to know what people want to build, because at the end of the day, it's the masternode owners that vote on this stuff. And so they're the ones that really should be doing these, but you don't see a lot of that. And I think it's because, they want other people to present what they think is a value proposition, right? So nobody wants to work, obviously, but it takes work with the right idea. So
we got a comment here. Request for proposal sounds great, especially for the less technically minded MNOs. It would be interesting to know how many self-host versus hosted.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to just you and I for a minute here. John Kindle. Yeah, John Kindle is he's been in this he's been in the Dash ecosystem for a while and worked through several different organizations. So yeah, there could easily be an RFQ or a RFP platform template where it helps people come up, just so that I don't have to have the template. Just come up with a simple template. I have lot of experience with writing proposals in Dash, and before Dash, I was doing a lot of proposals as a freelance mechanical engineer. And so I basically know what you need. Like the minimum you need is a scope, a schedule, and a budget. What's the scope of work? What's the schedule time frame that you're going to complete that by, and what is the budget that you need? And so that could be a simple template that we could make. And yeah, maybe that would be a great a great DApp, a great Dash platform application. But somebody has to build that, right? So anyway, I think that, let's see, I want to just keep it on this view for a minute, because I'm just going to scan through this to see if I've covered. Okay, actually, let's go back to my screen share, if you would, and let me know when you've got that.
There you go. You're good.
For a few more of these things. So this was the libraries that we've talked about: -join.js, -proposal.js. Obviously, those libraries are no real good until you actually implement them into a user interface, and so that's what Jojobyte would be doing, putting these things into the wallet UI along with some of the other third-party integrations that we've been planning on for a while. Putting a nice user interface on that. And so this is the work that has been done in the past. So I think that we've now covered this. The one thing that I did want to say with this again is to reemphasize that every Dash that comes from and goes through the Superblock treasury system, typically, at least I encourage that it goes through and is spent through one of our third-party integrations. And I want to make that process easier. So buying gift cards or Bitrefill, or if you need to swap it into a stable coin, use the Maya protocol. Spritz, I don't know if they have an integration, like an API that we can hit and use in our own as our own application, but that would be another one. That's where most of my funds filter through and supports that ecosystem. So I can't emphasize that enough, the importance of having a primary market where Dash is created and then given to contributors and people that then use those through our partners. Like, this is the only way that we have a sustainable ecosystem and economy, is if we have that circular flow of funds. So okay, I think that covers the proposals and the idea of why we're doing this. The splitting of the proposals was essentially trying to get more targeted feedback between voters and contributors, and the votes is the best way to do that. So this is why we have these proposals split now. And just as an FYI, I know that, so 800 Dash per month, we have 2 more months of that. This would definitely come down in the next quarter, but 800 Dash per month between you and me, Anthony, and trying to attract 10 to 20 new developers, I think, we can use those funds as well. But this would probably come down next quarter if Jojobyte's proposal passes, for sure. If Jojobyte's proposal doesn't pass, or at least doesn't pass in the next month, maybe it passes the second month, but not the first month. I feel strongly enough about these projects that they have proposed that I will continue to fund some of this stuff out of the 800 Dash that I get this month if that passes. So I don't want people thinking that I've completely cut Jojobyte and Cool AJ86 off from my funding. I have not done that.
There's a question here. Someone's asking, can the proposal be for a web app that uses Dash, or is it required to be more involved than that?
Bring that back up again. Okay, so can the proposal be for? Proposal can be for anything. A proposal can be for making a meetup at your local, your local meetup group and presenting ideas. It can be marketing. It can be for anything. Web apps is, I think, yeah, definitely. I mean, web apps are the glue that ties together users and our infrastructure. So web apps are indispensable.
What do you have in mind? If you have, an idea for a web app, feel free to drop it in the chat, and we'll let you know what we think of it.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. I don't have much more to say about this unless anybody has any other questions, and I think we've addressed some of those as well. So any final parting words, Anthony?
Just a last comment to read here. I'm glad to see this coin is making progress. I'm new to Dash, and it does what Lightning is supposed to do, and really, unlike Bitcoin, good for spending. This guy's speaking your language.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we need more of you. We need more of you guys. Just discovered Dash. I mean, new to Dash. That's just, it's kind of sad in a way. I mean, it's great, obviously, but it's sad that people have still not heard of Dash and haven't tried it out after all these years. But that's just the reality of the situation.
Most people have never tried crypto at all. So
yeah. Yep. All right, guys. Tune in next week. I think we've got about a week left of voting for these proposals. So I'm optimistic. I'm hoping that the community values this work, and we will see next week. Haven't got a topic in line yet, but we'll come up with that in the next few days here. So, all right. See you, everybody.
All right. Bye.